total cost or average cost. What is marginal cost? Once again, we are back in marginal. Marginal here, marginal there. The marginal way of thinking is the economic way of thinking. Every entrepreneur, every businessman always would like to see what's an additional cost incurred because of an additional unit of production. Which is very, very important. That's why we can say the marginal cost is nothing but mathematically the derivative of total cost function. In another words, we can say MC is nothing but the slope of TC. Now you can see in the graph, the AFC is a downward sloping curve. We can also mathematically call it rectangular hyperbola, saying that as the unit of output increases, what happens? The total fixed cost gets divided by it. So what happens? The value go on falls. That is a downward falling curve. AVC and ATC has more or less a U shape, saying that initially increasing return to factor in the short-term production function happens. Thereafter diminishing return to factor happens. That is the reason why both the curve initially downward sloping and then upward sloping. Right? Marginal cost has a peculiar tick mark shape. Reason, if you go back to the earlier curve of short-term production function, the marginal product rises up to the point of inflection and then thereafter it falls at a greater speed. It is just the opposite of what we saw in the law of variable proportion. Their marginal cost, marginal product increased initially. Here the marginal cost fallen initially. Thereafter there what happens? The marginal product then falls and moves into the negative. And that is reflected here. The marginal cost is rising at a greater speed. And where it cuts at the point of ATC, what happens? ATC is equal to marginal cost. That means at the minimum point of average cost is equal to marginal cost. In other way, I can show you this way. That is, if you see the average cost is equal to marginal cost, what happens is at a point is the AC, the arrow which shows the MC, that means AC is equal to MC. That is a point of cutting intersection in the last diagram we saw. At the minimum point of AC, AC is equal to MC. Now, as MC is increasing, what happened? MC is pulling AC upward. So AC is increasing. Then while falling, the MC is pulling the AC falling. That's the reason they go direct proportion in either case. But at the point of intersection, AC is exactly equal to MC. Okay. Now comes the long run cost output relationship. What is the long run cost output relationship? It's not necessary in the long run for a firm to operate only on a single plant. You can operate on your multiple plants. Each firm is operating under a single plant, so it will have its own cost curve. So plant 1 have its own cost, it is called SSC1. Plant 2 will have its own cost, it is called SSC2 curve. Plant 3 have its own cost curve, it is called SSC3 curve. So it will go on, and finally the summation of all the SSC, you get the LAC, which can be drawn as follows. And before that, let us understand the need of LAC. Okay, with different plant when you produce these dotted lines, you can understand that if you produce somewhere at say, we are the third, first, second, third and fourth. The fourth dotted line, if you see, the fourth dotted line, you can produce this with second plant as well as with the first plant. But if you produce with the first plant, the cost of production is quite high. But if you produce with the second plant, the cost of production is less. The gap might appear small, but in real life situation, in industries, particularly in Reliance, Adani and all, this difference will run into several hundred crores. So it is as firm's manager, as an engineer, production engineer, it's your responsibility to ensure that you choose the right plant. So this diagram shows you choice of right plant, because if you choose the first plant, the cost of production will be very high. The firm will incur huge losses. So you have to choose an appropriate plant in the long run to produce an appropriate level of output. So this is the exact U shape, the LAC, which is nothing but the summation of series of SSE curves. But be careful. You don't get LSE from the sky. You get from a series of SSE. So don't draw LSE first. In fact, SSE will be drawn first and the left side of the curve should be tangent to the left side of the LSE. That means so many SSE gives their genes and the LSE is born. So LSE is born out of the genes of SSE cows, and that's why ultimately you can see a perfect U shape of LSE curve, because at the minimum point you are achieving optimization. Till then you are getting economies of scale, and that's why the LSE is falling. Thereafter the diseconomy sets in, whether it's any firm, as a chemical firm, any firm, as you move into higher and higher level of output, a lot of diseconomies, whether it is managerial diseconomies, technological obsolescence. Technology may not be, you have to put lot of focus on technology, because technology is changing by every other day. So what happens is that you keep with the same technology, the technology get obsolete, suddenly the same economies of scale suddenly become diseconomies of scale. So that's the reason Western companies, multinational companies and all, they put lot of focus on R&D, because if you don't upgrade the technology, don't think that everybody is not upgrading. Someone somewhere is upgrading the technology, and when you meet him or her, you will be defeated. So what happens is that at some particular pace, the diseconomy sets in, causing the upward slope of the LSE curve. This is where again a point of disputes between the traditional economist and the modern economist. Now, based on these, the traditional school of they say that the LSE is perfectly U-shaped because of the earlier one, as we saw. Initially IRS is happening. That is why what happens, the cost curve is falling, because the firm is experiencing economies of scale, and there the economies of scale and diseconomies of scale cancel each other. That's why we said CRS, constant return to scale, and there the diseconomies of scale sets in, and that's why the slope gets upward. Now if you see the modern school of thought, the modern school of thought is not ready to accept this perfect U shape. They say that why the long run average cost should get upward sloping, rather it should fall, rather it should have a rectangular hyperbola like that what we saw in AFC. Rather they call it learning curve, saying that LSE should fall. The question of a rising LSE does not arise. Let us see what are the various reasons so far they are explored. First is learning. Everybody is learning. If teachers are learning, students are learning, scientists are learning, why not businessmen? Why not firms? So, for example, 30-40 years back, for Maruti Udyog Limited, making car Maruti 800 was a big affair. But today, it's fun. Okay, in fact, every 6 months they come with a new model. The reason? Through learning, they get more and more exposure, and they know what are the cost-cutting techniques which are available to a firm. Second is technological economies. As technology is advancing, the firms are not only getting access to latest and advanced technology, but also advanced technologies are available at a lower cost. So ultimately, it will pull down the cost curve, causing a L shape rather than U shape. Finally, the managerial economics. Managers today, contemporary managers are amazing. They are capable of cost-cutting techniques. They are capable of understanding a large number of mathematical, linear programming, this, that. They understand better and better than the earlier managers. Of course, the managers' cost is increasing, but they are capable of cutting the production cost heavily. So this huge cut in production cost can set off any increase in the managerial cost. Thereby, the ultimate effect will be huge cut in the total production cost, causing the LSE fall. So there is learning economies. You learn by doing business. In the long run, you learn. So the question of rising and upward sloping LSE doesn't arise. Second, technological economies. As technology is getting advanced and advanced, they're also available at a lower cost. So what happens is that the cost of production gets declined. And finally, the managerial economies. Managers today, many of them are having BTech. They have engineering background. So when they have engineering background, their logic power is so high. After they do MBA and all, so they are exposed to marketing management, exposed to entrepreneurship, exposed to financial management, exposed to financial leverage, operational management, whatnot. And then finally, they apply all these in solving complex managerial problems and thereby reducing the cost of the firm to very less, to very minimum level. So the rising LSE doesn't arise. So now comes economies of scale, which we used it in the U shape of, we said that initially the LSE falls because of economies of scale. So naturally a question arises in students' mind, what do you mean by scale? What do you mean by economies of scale? Scale means volume of production. Economies of scale means situations in which output can be doubled for less than doubling the cost. That means you produces more output at lower cost. That means you are reaching into volume. We call it scale. If it doesn't happen, we call it diseconomies of scale. So diseconomies of scale sets in when doubling of output requires more than doubling of cost. So the question of diseconomies doesn't arise. Now we move to the last topic, that is the economies of scope. The economies of scope means what? The combined cost of producing two products is less than producing them differently at two different. For example, we have one factory at Baroda, another at Ahmedabad. Okay. Now producing at Baroda and Ahmedabad, the cost will be very high. Producing together at Baroda or at Ahmedabad, the cost of production can be reduced. And this is what is called, we have put it in a equational form, cost of producing one and cost of producing two separately, and then the combined cost. So the value of SC is greater than 0, then economies of scope happens. If it is negative, diseconomies of scope happens. Higher the value of SC, higher the level of economies of scope. Every firm is ultimately aiming at economies of scope. You can also bring your doubts. If you have any doubts in microeconomics, you can come to this following email address, and there you can write to me. Apart from this, we'll move to market. Given another opportunity, definitely I would like to meet all of you. Thank you very much.
Sandhan, All Gujarat Integrated Classroom.
સેટેલાઇટના માધ્યમથી જોડતી કડી એટલે સંધાન.